Romby Bryant joins us on video chat this morning from, is it Frisco, Texas, Nick? Is that where you found this guy?
Yeah, he's Frisco.
Hey, good morning, Romby. How are you?
Good morning. How are you guys?
We're doing very well, thank you. We're talking some Stampeders football today, and I'm gonna open up with this. When I think of you, I think of the 75-yard bomb on the last play of the 2012 Western semifinal. Remember that, Nick?
Yeah.
From Tate.
Yeah.
Yeah, rider killer. What do you think of when you think of your time with the Calgary Stampeders?
I obviously think of that moment because that's one of the best moments of my career. But I also think of the moment how I got to Calgary. It was when 2009 we was playing Montreal and I got traded during the game and found out after the game that I'm flying to Calgary instead of Winnipeg. So, yeah, that was pretty interesting, finding out that you got traded during the game. And I never heard of that happening before.
Neither have I. How did that happen? How'd that go down? Who told you?
Murph. John Murphy was actually that put me off the bus. Yeah. John Murphy was actually the guy that put me off the bus and told me that I'm going to be flying to Calgary instead of Winnipeg because I got traded. RJ and I got traded for, I forget who it was. It was defense and an offensive guy. Do you remember who it was, Nick?
I have no clue. I'm just glad it happened.
Yeah, no kidding.
I think it was Jabari. It was Jabari.
Oh, it was. It's Jabari out there in West Lossack, wasn't it? Was West Lossack? No, West was in the first trade to Winnipeg for Joe Fleming. With Joe Fleming.
Yeah, it was Jabari.
Titus Ryan.
It was a DN.
Titus Ryan.
The guys are saying Titus Ryan, Romby.
Yeah, he was a returner.
Oh, it was. Oh, yeah. I guess it was Titus. I guess it was two receivers in.
And Odell Willis.
Oh, Odell. So it was a defensive guy.
Hey, Romby, before we go any further, can you give us a little tour of the bookshelf behind you? Is that all your teams? What is that over your shoulder there?
Oh,
the helmets?
Yeah. So that's, the helmets. Yeah. Over there is Tulsa. The middle one is Baltimore. And then this one is Calgary.
All right. Obviously, teams that mean a lot to you. And people are writing in now about the 2012 Western semifinal. Mark, you brought up your best games against the Riders. This is how rivalries are born, right? Games like, I mean, what do you remember those games against Saskatchewan? Because I'm sure I've blocked them from my memory. What do you remember about those games against Saskatchewan?
Always high scoring. Right, always. It didn't really matter kind of, what our record was. You knew that when you came out of the tunnel, if we were playing at home, the stadium would be packed. The whole section down on the far end would be green. They'd be the noisiest part of the stadium. If you came here, you knew it was going to be raucous. Again, doesn't matter what the records were, but they were always competitive games. Always very, very high scoring. And as a kicker, that's what you want to participate in. You want to participate in a game that's keeping you active.
Well, and so, Romby, looking back, because I'm come from the Rider perspective, 20 seasons as the voice of the team. Give me the Calgary perspective. The 2012 West semifinal is a great example, or any other one that you can remember where the stadium's jammed and it's red and it's green. Did it remind you of college, or what's your reflections of those games?
It reminded me of college, the atmosphere, the tailgating, the horns, just the excitement of the fans. And regardless if we played them in Saskatchewan or Calgary, they had a good showing. And I love going down there and play them in Saskatchewan because you just knew it was going to be, it was going to be fun. It was going to be a tight game, and we knew it was a rival that we had to go in and take care of business. And it was always, my cousin played with Saskatchewan one time, so that was those games. Nick Graham. Yeah, he's my cousin. So that, that made it even more exciting just, going against your first cousin and that's having bragging rights at the dinner table, during the holidays. But yeah, just the college atmosphere from playing against Saskatchewan was great.
Nicholas Graham is one of the classiest guys that has ever come through here. He was on, maybe you don't agree as your cousin, maybe you have different recollections of him, I don't know, but we had him on. Within the last 6 to 7 months, I just loved Nick, former Philadelphia Eagle, obviously, and had some great times with the Saskatchewan Roughriders. But Chris Jones was on with us last hour, Romby, and he said that every day he defends the CFL. Nick, am I hearing that wrong, that he would have to defend the CFL?
Well, I mean, it goes both ways because I hear I come play in SAS and you hear the fans say, if you really were good, you'd be playing in the NFL, and it's not. It's not a good thing, right? The money, yes, is better there because the marketing behind it. Right, they have so much more marketing power, so many more people to put market behind people, and that's what provides the money. It's not the value of how good you are. You know, there's great NFL players that can't play here. There's great CFL players that can't play there. But there's guys that can play in both leagues, and Romby's one of those guys. Man, I'm gonna tell you, Romby is the type of guy who would take every scout team rep, every team rep, every scaly rep. He didn't miss anything, and he was 100% every time. Like, he would run and run and run, and I don't know how he did it. Like, you know, Huff had a rule, everybody had to take 2 scout team reps. But Romby took most of them, if not all of them, and he never complained. He went out there and did his job, and, you know, it showed in the games. And the year, what was it, 2010, I believe it was, when we all had 1,000-yard seasons? Was that 2010, Ron?
Yeah, I think it was 2010.
2010?
You're talking about, 2010.
Yeah, him, and Rambo all had 1,100 plus, but Romby had 15 or 16 touchdowns that year. And I remember he scored 3 50-yard touchdowns in one game, 50-plus yard touchdowns one game against Bo Smith, and Bo tore his Achilles trying to chase Romby.
But my point on this is, do you feel that you have to defend the CFL where you're at in Texas? Because most places where I travel, and I'm down there a lot, I don't have to defend it at all. They know the CFL very well, and they respect it. So I was caught off guard a little bit that Chris Jones would feel the need to defend the CFL.
Yes, I have to defend it a lot because guys think kind of what Nick said. They just think, or what Chris Jones might have meant. A lot of guys just think it's easy to make it to the CFL. I have some friends that didn't play Division I football, didn't play college football, period, that would contact me asking me if they can get a tryout in the CFL because they thought it was just easy to play or make it up there. And then you always have people asking you, how much did you get paid up there? And, well, how is the game up there? And I always remind them, I played with guys like Brandon Browner and other guys that Cam Wake, other guys that was Pro Bowlers in the NFL that started in the CFL. So it's talent up there. And just like Nick said, there's guys that can play on both ends. I didn't play against number 1 draft picks that was in the NFL that came to the CFL that didn't make it. Exactly.
Batman.
So
yeah.
So it's talent everywhere. It's a totally different game. But I think a lot of people down here in the U.S. don't understand how hard it is to make it up there. Sometimes it's even harder because you have to fight the ratio.
I'm starting to get it now. It takes me a while. I'm a thick head, but the football people I talk to get it.
Yeah.
But Joe Blow on the street,
the average fan doesn't get it. The average fan that just watch NFL football, they won't get it. And even I would even say some people with football knowledge don't get it because, like I said, my first 3 years of retirement, I had somebody, at least 10 people contact me asking me if I can get them a tryout in the CFL. And these guys didn't play in college. They were on college teams, but they didn't play. But my point is, they just thought it was easy. And to me, I felt like that was disrespectful because because you thought I played in the CFL that it was easy.
Yeah, I'm so far past that though. I don't even give them the time of day. I'm like done with you. Robbie, before we let you go, an update on your life for CFL fans, if you don't mind. Looks like you're doing great.
Yeah, I'm doing good. I work for a bank in their insurance department now. I'm in college getting my master's in dispute resolution conflict management. I'm a certified executive coach, and I'll be a certified mediator when I'm done with this program. I'm just looking. I went back to school to learn about leadership, from a corporate perspective. I know leadership from a football perspective, but I want to learn it from a corporate perspective and learn how to tie the two. So when I go in and speak to these executives or do keynote speeches, I'm able to tell my story of football and about leadership in their language.
Well, maybe Mark McLaughlin, you got a question or two for him.
Yeah.
That's what you're doing.
Well, I mean, I think, Romby, one of the things that obviously will continue to jump out at you is the natural ease of being in an athletic environment and your experience as an athlete and being around teams, focusing in on building championship and winning organizations, and how you can parlay that very much into the business environment. And I think today's leadership, both at the corporate level and at the athletic level, is really finding and looking for those unique individuals that can bring both perspectives to the table. So I wish you all the best with that. I'm using that a lot today in what I'm doing here in Saskatchewan, and it's really paid dividends.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I would love to reach out to you offline if you don't mind.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I can connect y'all.
Have you been seeing that, Romby? Just your background in sports, how much it's helping you in what you're doing now, what Mark's talking about?
Oh, yes. My background in sports has helped me out a lot, just, with the discipline. And it's all about consistency. Like in football, we learn repetition is the mother of skill. So regardless of whatever you're doing, you might not get it right the first time, but if you be consistent and keep doing it, eventually you'll figure it out. And sports taught me that.
Romby, this has been amazing, and I thank you, Nick, for lining it up.
Oh yeah, no problem. I talk to Romby all the time, and we're working on some business stuff too that we should be able to go live about soon. So, and it's along those same lines, and it's great always to connect with ex teammates, but like brothers, like man. It was a long road in Calgary, and we went through a lot together. And, it's one of the guys that I probably talk to the most out of all my ex-teammates. We stay in contact very
regularly.
Well,
Romby, great job, my man. I appreciate it. Stay in touch, and good luck. All the best in 2020.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate you.
You're watching Rod Pedersen On Demand. For more of The Rod Pedersen Show, visit rodpedersen.com or follow Rod Pedersen on social media.